PR Connections Radio presents.
I guess you can be very successful without one, and probably some people do. But I would not have accomplished anywhere near what I have accomplished without a mentor. I have had a number of mentors, and my whole life has changed dramatically. I went from going nowhere to having a business that operates all over the world. If you want to win in a big way, you want to get a mentor. It's almost like getting a direct pipeline from their mind to your mind, where you're gaining all their wisdom, all their experience, and all the studying that they've done over a number of years. And like that, you get it all in a short period of time. Are mentors important? Well, I'm going to tell you, mentors literally changed the course of my life. Let's take a look at what thinking into results is and what it could do for you, how it came about. You see, my life had changed dramatically. I went from earning nothing to earning over $1 million a year. And I was sitting one day and I was thinking, how did all this happen? Do you know, I was reading Think and Grow Rich. I was studying Earl Nightingale's material. But a lot of people have read those books and studied Earl's material. And they weren't accomplishing what I was accomplishing. So I had to ask myself, what am I doing so different? You see, I had been raised to believe if you're going to earn a lot of money, you've got to be really smart. I was earning over $1 million a year, and I didn't think I was that bright. I was also raised to believe if you don't go to school, you can't win. Well, I hadn't gone to school. I went to high school for about 2 months. I didn't have a good job. I owned the entire company. If you want to be happy, healthy, and prosperous, it's all here. Thinking into results is going to show you how to get it. If what I've said really triggered something in your mind and you're thinking maybe, contact the certified PGI consultant. Hit the button, leave the information. Do yourself a favor. Sit down and talk to them about what this program can do for you. This very well could be the decision that will change the rest of your life.
Thank you, Bob. I'm Sid Maystreet. I'm a certified consultant with the Thinking in Results program, and I welcome you to our lesson today, lesson number 8, called PRAXIS. And PRAXIS is the aligning your actions with your behavior in line with your vision. Let me read that again here. Aligning action and results with your vision. There's a word that's found in the Bible, the New Testament, the Old Testament, the Quran, the Torah, psychology books, and that word is faith and belief. And that's what PRAXIS is, the integration of our belief with our behavior. And one of the things about what you're doing in life and your belief, you cannot go beyond what you believe you can do. You can want to do something. You can wish you could do something. You can hope you can do something. But until you believe you can do it, believe you can have it, it's not going to happen. And that's what Thinking in Results is about. The program is changing your thinking, changing your results. We teach you to identify the goals you want, prioritizing them, and how to move your thinking into the positive and the belief. This teaching of Bob's Thinking in Results originated with Bob being given the copy of Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. Napoleon Hill was challenged by Andrew Carnegie, the wealthiest man in the world, they say, back at 1900 or so, with interviewing 500 people or so, most successful people, to find out why they were successful and write the philosophy of what are the successful people doing. And Napoleon Hill spent 20 years studying, interviewing, putting his book together. And today, over 100 million copies have sold since 1937 of Think and Grow Rich. And I have a quote I want to read you. There's a difference between wishing for something and being ready to receive it. No one's ready for anything until they believe they can acquire it. The state of mind must be belief and not mere hope or wish. Open-mindedness is essential to belief. Closed minds will not accept the idea, a new idea they just won't if it doesn't fit. So today, I want to introduce my good friend and student, a trained voice actor. I'd like to bring on John Gage. And here he is, the man of the hour, or the man of the half hour, because that's all they will allow us to have, but we still get to have fun.
I get my 15 minutes of fame. Thank you, Sid. I appreciate that.
Tell me about you and Praxis, aligning your belief with your behavior.
Well, we've been talking. I'm going to stick with kind of the same theme that I've been sticking with for the last 7 sessions. My weight loss, and some people are like, well, that's not necessarily a big goal, but for me, it is. And I don't know that I've told the whole story on here, so I'll kind of
start at the beginning.
I will, as embarrassing as it is. I will. In 2004, I thought, I probably should lose some weight. So I tried to weigh myself. I couldn't find a scale to do it. And my first wife was a nurse, and they had a cattle scale at her work that they would weigh people on that were had mobility issues, and they would weigh them, they'd roll them onto the scale, and it was a cattle scale. Well, when I stood on it, because I couldn't find any other place to weigh me, and I needed to start somewhere, you just kind of watch the numbers roll up. 400, 500, 600, 700. I'm sitting here just going, huh? 800, 900. And I just kept rolling and finally stopped at around 950. And I kind of stood there. I knew I was heavy. I mean, anybody who is fully well aware of their weight situation. Trust me. And when it stopped, and I forget what it was. It was almost 950. It was 947, and there was a whole bunch of digits after. I just looked at it for it felt like forever. It was probably only a few minutes, but I just kind of stared at it like, how did that happen? That was the first question I needed to answer. How did that happen? Well, I let it happen. That's how it happened. I would eat poorly, and I would just consume calories and calories and calories all day. McDonald's was my best friend. And I would, that dollar meal, it was cheap. And it was good. If you took the time to taste it, it was okay. Followed with a Coke and very minimal exercise, because the job I had was actually a desk job and very mentally challenging. Rather, it wasn't physically challenging. When I first started, it was, because I kind of did deliveries and stuff. But then I advanced into management. And so I ended up doing the books and doing all this other stuff. So I didn't get in the physical exercise, but continued to eat as if I was. And within a few years, here you are wearing an 8X that's so tight you can't hardly keep it on. You have a waist that's almost 100 inches in circumference, and you try to figure out how in the world you kept walking. I have no clue. I couldn't answer the question, except that I'm, in my youth, I was fairly strong. So at that point, it's like, okay, well, I got to get some of this weight off. Eat turmeric, some, not all, some. So I get down to about between 500 and 600 pounds in a few years. It takes a couple of years. First thing I stopped was drinking soda. To this day, I still don't drink. I don't drink much soda. If I do, it's like one glass a month. And then I feel guilty because I just really know how bad it is for you. And then when I get down to 550 roughly, I hung out there for almost 10 years. And in 2018, I did a program. I actually got down to 350. I was doing pretty good, looking pretty good, feeling pretty good. I thought, man, this is great. So I went out and celebrated. Well, I continued to celebrate for days and days and days. Then my marriage fell apart the following year. I developed a heart condition that in 2019. And in 2019, my marriage started falling apart. That's another story. Here I am still trying to lose the weight. Not really being super successful at it, but I'm still trying. Then I get sick, and I spend almost all of 2021 in the hospital. I went to the hospital a dozen times. And at the beginning of 2022, I went to the hospital in the middle of January and didn't leave until the middle of March. I went in, I think, the 20th of January, and I left March 18th. And they put me in a coma for a while. They discussed amputating my legs from the knees down because I couldn't feel any heart rate. My legs were black from the knees down. When I got out of the hospital, they told me, chances are you're probably not going to be walking well at all for the rest of your life. And oh, by the way, you're going to be on 9 liters of oxygen for those people out there that are listening that are nurses and know how severe 9 liters of oxygen is for the rest of my life. Here it is, beginning of July 2024. I've been off the oxygen since April 2022. I can now walk, and I walk with a cane periodically for if I'm going to walk long distances or up and down stairs. I still need a cane, but it's not terrible. But I was applying thinking into results for this, but I still wasn't paying attention to my weight. I was still consuming food at warp speed, for lack of a better word. So I was still consuming a lot of food, and I sabotaged myself, and I had to come to the realization and accept the fact that I was the one that, number one, put me where I'm at. Number two, when I started having success, I was the one that got afraid enough to sabotage my own self. Nobody comes along and says, oh, by the way, here, eat. They don't make you do that. The fork doesn't make you consume food. And I was comfortable at 500 pounds. So I would get to 500 pounds and I would hold it. I mean, I could hold the weight just fine. But that's where my subconscious, now that it was comfortable. And we take the path of least resistance, and my subconscious was comfortable there. So for it, that was a path of least resistance. On the lesson 8, the praxis, one of the things that Bob talks about is it, and this is towards the end, he says it takes the same energy to aim high and demand exceptionality in life as it does to accept poverty and failure. Do you know how profound a statement that is? So I had to go, okay, what does that mean to me? And it means that you have to take actions, that you have to truly believe what you want, have faith that it's going to happen, i.e., I will weigh 275 pounds. That is my ideal weight. And I know it's my ideal weight. I've discussed it with doctors. I've discussed it with, people that weight is all they do. 275 is my ideal weight based on my bone structure and my height. That's where I need to be. So that's my goal weight.
Can I interrupt you for a moment?
Absolutely.
Before we get into the plan, what you're doing, what's it going to look like? What's your life going to be like? How will you feel? What you're doing when you're 275?
Man, when I'm 275, I'm going to be probably the most active guy on the planet. I probably won't have time to sit in front of a computer screen and work all day. I'll be out fishing. I'll be traveling. My wife and I will be visiting other countries. I'll be able to take my work with me as a voice actor. I'll have all my work. It'll be right with me. I'll take it, have it hooked up to a laptop. Oh, I need to do a voiceover. Okay, honey, you go to the pool. I'm going to take a couple of hours to record what I need to record, and I'll meet you down there. That's what my life's going to look like. I'm going to be traveling. I'm going to be living my best life. I'm going to be going and seeing the places I do, fishing for the fish I want to fish for, hunting for the animals I want to hunt for, traveling to the parts of the world that I want to see and that Liz wants to see. And I will be so honored to meet new people and make new friends, learn about their culture, and just enjoy absorbing what this planet has to offer for us as human beings. That's my goal. That's what it's going to look like. Because if I can obtain this goal, I can do anything. Nobody's going to stop me.
What's going to happen next year?
What's that next year? I'm going to be married to 275 pounds.
When is that?
That'll be in June on the 12th.
And I'm going to be there.
Yes, you are. And it's going to be wonderful to actually wear a suit and look good. As I said before, heavy people know what they look like. We don't need people to tell us how we look. We are aware of that. We know what a mirror is, and we avoid them for a reason. Until you start looking good again, and you're like, oh, wow. Is that my jaw? What happened to the third neck? It's gone.
I know.
The back of my head, there used to be a patch that my neck used to go from literally about here straight down. And now it curves like it's supposed to. And all they've done is accept that, well, I believe and I have faith that this is going to happen. And I interrupted. I apologize. Go ahead.
Oh, no, I just wanted you to go back to the plan that you're doing right now.
So what I was talking about.
Because I think there might be a few people that whether they want to lose 25 pounds or 50 or whatever, that will see this, that you've got a step-by-step plan that you're.
Well, yeah, because I had to accept it. Number one, I figured out how many calories it takes. Because if you take your current weight and multiply it by 12, that's the number of calories it takes just to maintain, just to exist, just to be there. So I'm pulling my calculator out. So forgive me.
I forgive you.
I can't do the math in my head. So currently, if I have 450 times 12, so it takes 5,400 calories for me to sit here like a lump on a log and do nothing. I want to be at 275, so to get to 275 and maintain 275, I need to 3,300 calories. Okay. So in order to lose the weight, I need to maintain a deficit of 3,300 calories. That's a deficit of 2,500 calories right there, or 2,100 calories. Sorry. So from 54 to 33, that's a 2,000 calorie deficit. For every 500 calories a day that you remain in deficit, you lose approximately 2 pounds a week. I run it between 2,000 and 2,500 calories a day. So I'm running at another 1,000 calories approximately, because I average about 2,300 calories a day in deficit from that. But I also have to make sure that I'm eating the right amount of protein, so that I'm not burning protein, I'm actually burning fat. I'm forcing my body to burn fat. And the way you figure out your protein that you need, you take 270. So I want to be at 275. You multiply that by 0.7. So in grams, I have to eat 193 grams of protein a day to maintain enough muscle mass to keep it about a 12% body fat ratio at that weight. So what I've done is I write everything down I eat since 6'8", and I've lost over 50 pounds. I write it in this book every single day. And I have to get up in the morning and say, okay, you only have to get through today. That's it. You just have one day to get through and you're done. And I read my affirmations. I'm happy and thankful that I now weigh 275, have a 40-inch waist, 72-inch chest, 10% body fat. I walk 1 mile per day, do a full body workout 3 days a week. I eat all natural, healthy foods, keeping my mind and body at a healthy peak performance. And like today, I have everything written down. I've eaten 1,840 calories today. So I still have 700 calories I can consume, and I'll be fine. It's where I'm at. It's 5 o'clock. It's almost dinner time. So it's almost 5. So I have decided that this is what I want consciously. I have developed a full belief that it will happen. I have faith I can accomplish this, and I put into action that faith so that I can accomplish this on a daily basis. And it's something that you have to be conscious of, and I don't want to sabotage myself anymore. My subconscious needs to accept that 275 pounds is my reality. It isn't going to be my reality. 275 is my reality now. And since June 8th, when I started writing it down, I've lost 50 pounds.
That's
And you can see that my watch used to sit up here. That's 2.5 inches. So, and it just slides down, and I've just decided to hold off until I get to my weight goal so that I can resize the watch properly. But that's what I've done. I mean, I've had to really align what I do. You know, I had to implement my belief with action so that I can accomplish that. It's just like you can't. I can say, yeah, I weigh 275, you know, but I don't. So,
But you see yourself.
but I see myself at 275. Yes.
John, I'm really, really proud of you.
Thank you.
And
I just one more thing. I know that you're getting ready to close, and I apologize. But I told you, you know, that they wanted to amputate my legs because they were black. Just so everybody is aware, because I've started doing this and paying attention to what's going into my body, my legs have full color back in them. I have a pulse in my feet, which I didn't have while they were discussing that. I have all the veins reappearing, and everything is starting to. My heart, the infraction ratio on my heart was 40%. It is now at 65%, which is above what it should be for my age. So I was 15% or 10% lower, because mine should be between 50 and 55%. I'm at 65. My cardiologist says that doesn't happen often.
Well,
And I'm
John,
like, well, apparently my lifestyle change has made a difference.
well, you're very special.
Apparently.
But we're going to see you. We'll see you next week,
Absolutely.
and we'll talk about attitude. And I'm going to finish up with some bullet points. You can stay with me, John.
Okay.
So I have some bullet points from this chapter, this lesson. 1, Napoleon Hill writes, "No one's ready for a thing till they believe that they can acquire it. The state of mind must be belief and not mere hope or wish." Number 2, our belief system is based upon our evaluation of something, and frequently, if we reevaluate situations, our belief about those situations will change. Number 3, we will never go beyond where you believe you can go. I'll repeat that one. You will never go beyond where you believe you can go. 4, praxis is the integration of belief with your behavior. Number 5, we have belief on 2 levels. Belief in our educated mind based on logic, based on what we see and the information that we gather. Then we have belief on a very deep level, on a subconscious level, belief that controls our behavior and is part of the paradigm. Number 6, with a team, it is essential that each member believes on an emotional level that which they vibrate and verbalize. They've got to practice the word praxis, begin to integrate some of their beliefs with their behavior. Number 7, on a conscious level and on a logical level, we can think it's true and we can say, yeah, I can do that. However, one must believe at a deep level, from deep in the psyche, that it is true. If we do not, then we must change that part of the paradigm.
Yep. Can I say something real quick?
Yeah, we got seconds here.
I know. We grew up with the term, if you think you can, you can. If you think you can't, you can't.
You're right. Thank you. I'm going to sign off here. You got sidmaester.thinkinginresults.com. You can get a bigger picture of Thinking in Results, and you can contact me there.
PR Connections Radio thanks you for watching this podcast. Check out more episodes of this show and our others at prconnectionsradio.com.